Hey, you guys. So, thank you so much for being patient with me. I'm just trying to navigate my new schedule with a newborn, and it still is so overwhelming. Last week, I just spent hours and hours crying every single day because I was just so overwhelmed and I was having such a hard time. But this week's thankfully so much better, a lot slower than last week, so much so that I felt like I was forgetting something. But thankfully, I had time to sit down and talk with you all. I missed it. And I had notes to talk about something totally different, but because of my mindless comments on Reddit, oh my God, I ended up pissing off a lot of people. I got banned from the conspiracy theory board. I'm so sad. I love that group. And I think over 100 people commented on one of my comments calling me a bad mom. So yeah, that's what we get into today. Thank you so much for your patience. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you all soon. I'm back with season 2. It's Basement Philosophies, and I'm your host, Brittany. Here, we won't follow the script of the mainstream media. We'll talk about real life, real problems, and now that I'm a new mom, we're going to talk about that too. Welcome back, and I'm so happy that you're here. Let's get to it. Heyo! Sorry guys, I was not in a good place last week. You see, I had something recorded, but what happened was I recorded the first part, had a horrible outing to go to my supervisor meeting, and then I came back in a really bad headspace. And when I went to finish and started editing, I was like, oh my God, this is such crap. I need to just sit back, decompress, and just chill out for a minute. So I never got around to it, mostly not because I didn't want to record, but I don't like to record when people are in the house. That's so embarrassing. So I just didn't get around to it because after Thursday, the house was full. So sorry about that. And, I'm trying to get a semi-regular schedule now that I'm kind of working a semi part-time, but it's still in the works. So once I get that nailed down, I'll be pretty regular with these. But since the move and school and Quinn being in this crazy phase, I think it's called Leap 4. Oh my God, it is crazy. My grandmother came over so I could have my meeting on Zoom, and I can't be interrupted. But, Quinn doesn't really care about that. So she screamed bloody murder. She was so upset. This happened the other night too, where she's just screaming and she seems like she's in pain, but she's not. She's totally fine right now. She's looking at me in her bouncer, happy as a clam. Scared my grandmother. I had to assure that she was okay. I sent her pictures just now of her smiling and laughing. She's like, oh, thank God. She called to check on her, so worried. So, that was my morning. I'll probably get in trouble because I got in trouble last week for having her on my meeting. So, yeah, it's been fun. And, she slept pretty good last night, but, I have insomnia all of a sudden. I could have had probably the best night of sleep since she was born. But no. I was wide awake, which is weird because I was a zombie all day like I am right now. But yeah, that's where we're at. I guess that's momming, right? I don't even know. Where am I? What day is it? What time? I don't I had imagined that eventually these recordings would be on video, but if you could see how I look right now, be grateful. So tired. I'm so tired. And I look tired and I look terrible. I've never had bags under my eyes and my hair, and oh, it's just the best. Like, I'm glad you can't see me. You can only hear me. Well, so in my insomnia, night last night, I was just, surfing the net. And I don't know about you guys, but I really love Reddit. And I don't know, is Reddit dead? Because I just discovered it during my pregnancy and I love it. It has great information. And then also, like, I learned that people get so mad on there. And I didn't know, like, I was just going through some things. Like, I love the conspiracy thread and like all the mom threads, because I learn a lot. But I was just like, mindlessly commenting like short comments. I didn't know that it would make people so mad. What I was saying would make people so mad. So I, am permanently banned from the conspiracy theory thread. I'm so sad, but I can still look. I'm just not allowed to comment because apparently they didn't like my theory, which, and I'll tell you what it is. And call me crazy. And like, just because this is my theory, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with me. That's not, like, I wasn't trying to force these people to believe what I believe. Like, whether I sound crazy or not, it was a conspiracy theory thread. Like, if I can't say it there, then I can't say anything anywhere. So, since this is my podcast, I'll say, and all I said was, people were talking about, I don't even remember what the original post was. It was about Trump, I think. And they took, and I don't know why they took what I said as I'm a Trump lover and I think he's going to save me. I was just like, this is all a show. And a lot of people don't agree. And I don't like to say things like the Matrix, but that's what this is, And so when we look at things like politics, okay, I say that's what this is. And my belief is that's what this is. So this whole Trump thing and the files and all of the shit that they're saying, it's just a distraction, right? And I know people hate that. I know people hate that phrase just as much as I hate when somebody says cognitive dissonance. It's like those words are so overused now. Like, I get it, but like, shut up. Not everything is cognitive dissonance, And so it was something about Trump and all the paperwork. And I was like, politics, it's all a game. Like, there's no Republican and Democrat, in my opinion. they all have the same agenda. They're all pushing us towards one end goal. And it is, I believe, is the new world order, the one world order. Like, I believe that's the goal. And I believe all of these politicians we see, it's all the same. It's all the same. People are emotional, so divided, and that's how we are the weakest. And when we are this divided and this scared, all of these people in power just have even more power. And it's so easy to brainwash people that are scared, manipulate people that are scared. That's why COVID was allowed to happen. That's why people were shooting themselves up without even knowing what was in these, medications. And it's fine if you made that choice. It's just, that's why these things are able to happen. It's why they were able to pretty much shut down the world. And there was nothing like people could do about it. And now all these truths are coming out and, people are getting silenced. People lost their jobs. Where the propaganda, the censorship, like all of that. It's so crazy. And it's all happening and you can see it. And I don't know. It's just and this is coming from a place like I've went down the rabbit holes. Like all of 2020, like when the shutdown started, I think it was like, did they start in March? I think so. It was like a month into the shutdowns, and things just weren't making sense to me. And then I found all the rabbit holes, and I was obsessed with this information. Like, I was up late all through the night reading about different things. Like, I got obsessed with it. And you get to a point where you research so much that you have to step away because everything just stops making sense. And it's all a disaster. And I was just like bummed out and scared, still kind of scared because you just don't know. And like, honestly, even through all of that research, I still don't know shit. I don't know anything. So what have I done now? I've chosen to kind of step back and just do what's best for me. I'm going to school. I'm trying to become the best therapist I could possibly be. I'm a new mom. I want to be the new mom. And number one thing, and I always said it, is we have to work on ourselves. And that is physically, emotionally, and when we get it back in touch with who we really are, I think that's really what changes the world. And you just can't get lost in all the noise. So when they're talking about Trump and the paperwork, and I was like, y'all are still like believing, politicians are a thing. Like we actually have a choice, right? I think it's all a show. I think Trump is the same as anybody else. He's not saving, no politician is gonna save anybody. I don't see why people think that. And one of the people on this thread, like, oh my gosh, people were so mad at me on this conspiracy thread by just saying that it's a show. And they were just, they had, her talking about the war in Ukraine and Russia and Biden and how we must keep our politicians aren't a game. Like, politics is not a game. We have to save our families. Yeah, we do have to save our families from politicians. Like, these people aren't helping us. They don't care about people. And I don't know why they think that they do. But I guess it's because, it's the same reason why I thought Trump might be a good guy, but then I was like, no, never mind, and I thought, like, Q is real. And at first I think it was something important and there was some really good information and I learned a lot, but ultimately it became another psyop, right? Just like all of it is. And I get pulled in different directions, but now I'm just like watching. And that's all I was saying to these people. Like, they're talking about all kinds of stuff about Ukraine and this active war. And I'm sorry, but since when do people like Ben Stiller and what's that drunk lady's name? Pelosi and all these celebrities just walk into these active war zones? Like, are you effing kidding me? Like, it's so ridiculous to me. And I don't want, like, I only keep up with the news because, my fiance watches the news, and I'm just like, people are still falling for this. And it's, maybe I'm getting tricked again. I don't know, but it's not like, I'm just not emotionally invested. And like, these people were like, you're what's wrong with the world. And I'm just like, how? This is my theory. Like, why does it matter what I think so much? Like, just because I don't agree with you? And because I was basically, I don't know, like, they weren't listening either because they were like, oh, and something about Trump. And I was like, no, I don't like him either. Like, I think it's all like, because I mentioned that Biden was practically a corpse and they took it literally. And I was like, guys, you do. And then they said I have nothing to back it up. And I'm like, that Biden's a corpse? Like, you can watch the TV and he cannot even say a sentence. Like, we can all agree he cannot speak a full sentence, right? Like, we can come to an agreement on that. Like, I heard him stutter. I don't even watch him now because it's hard for me to watch. It makes me sad. It makes me like embarrassed to see it. Like, I feel bad for the guy, and I can't believe like his family is allowing him to be on camera like this. Like, it's so, so sad. And I wasn't coming from a bad place. I was just saying, like, it's all a show. I'm sorry. I've gotten emotionally invested in so many different things. I've been, pulled and went down the rabbit holes. Like, I'm not at this place because I haven't done a lot of research. I dedicated like a year of my life to trying to piece everything together. And I mean, if you do enough research, there's some weird connections to all of them, Trump included. So I'm sorry if you love Trump, but he's in there too. Like, just look up about Trump Tower. Look at all the symbols and symbolism and, all of that 33-degree masonry. Is it 33 degrees? I don't know. Whatever it is. The point is, I've done the research. I see the connections. And at the end of the day, I realize I don't know shit. I'm feeding into all of this by, being so obsessed with it. So I'm pulling myself back. And I'm doing things that bring me joy. Honestly, that's what I'm doing now. And they had everybody in that thread had a lot to say about that too. They said I'm the problem. Why am I a problem? Because I don't agree with you. Like, they'll get to where I am at too, I think. And then I made like millions of moms mad because they were talking about supplementing vitamin D. Now, I didn't know that was a thing, and people I guess I'm a different kind of mom. I don't know. But I didn't know about this. I don't do that. I don't supplement my child with vitamin D. What we do is we go outside in the morning, and it's for at least 15 minutes, and she gets vitamin D from the sun. And you would have thought that I said I set my kid on fire, or that I sit her outside in direct sunlight for hours and hours and hours. No, I said I walk outside, and everybody lost their mind. One woman went as far as to tell me that my baby should not have been outside until at least 6 months old. Like, we're afraid of the sun now. She would have really got her mind blown when I said I don't use sunscreen because I think it causes cancer. So it's just another conspiracy theory, I guess. But yeah, I think that shit causes cancer. Say no to sunscreen if you want to, but if not, it's your call. Don't care either way. For me personally, I do not use sunscreen. So, but I didn't say that to them because, my God, they came after me. Like, I just mindlessly was just like, oh, I just walk outside and she is totally fine. And I woke up to so much hate, man. And it was nice to not care. Like, I felt I wouldn't say that I have a thick skin per se, but I just really don't care. Like, I'm going to do me no matter what. And you can do you. Like, that is what freedom is. Freedom of choice. That's what I stand for. That's what I will always stand for. Do I agree with everybody? No. Do people agree with me? Obviously not. But you just can't be afraid of being different, I guess. I've done a lot of work around deconstructing my beliefs. And on my spiritual journey, it's taking a belief and kind of dissecting it and understanding where that belief came from. Just like I do, with beliefs about myself. I work a lot with self-worth. I have a very low sense of self-worth. And I still struggle with that. I still don't know, like, where that comes from. It could be a lot of things, but I'm still learning, and growing in that sense. Like, when I say these things, it's not from a place where I have it all figured out. No, I'm just in the trenches with everybody else. I don't know anything. I don't. I just, I go with what resonates with me. But the difference is now is that I'm no longer afraid of being different. And so many people are. I would conform. I've conformed my entire life just to stay out, just so nobody would, just to avoid confrontation. I hated, having to defend myself, kind of. Like, I just didn't want to be bothered with it. Like, I just want to be left alone. And in order to be left alone, I would pretend to conform. But I was feeling all of these different things in the inside. But I was just stuck in this place where I was listening to people talk, but I wouldn't challenge anything ever, because I just didn't want people, because people don't have healthy debates anymore. It is like, you have to agree with me. That's why I got banned out of conspiracy Reddit, man. And I love it. It's like I love and I hate Reddit. Like, I love it so much and I hate it so much. It's so weird. But why does everybody have to agree? I don't know. Like, I don't know. But, and this was not what I wanted to talk about today, but bottom line, so I can get to what I actually wanted to talk about. Moral of this long story is, don't be afraid of being different. Like, really, like, don't. My whole philosophy is to keep an open mind, to question everything, and, work from there. Because don't take things for gospel. Like, don't, like, not one person knows anything, or not one person knows everything. Nobody. Not one of us. Maybe. No human person knows everything. I'm sorry. You just don't. You can know a lot about something, but you don't know everything. And even me, like, I've chose now to just start observing what I see. And I think it's all a show. And people can say I'm disconnected or that's cognitive dissonance, whatever. It's not cognitive dissonance. It's like accepting the fact that I don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to not have the answers. Everybody thinks you have to have all the answers, and you're not going to get them. Sorry. Like, you're not going to get them. And when you accept that, everything gets a lot easier. It's just like, I don't think people, especially like in the mom world, like, mom shaming is never okay. All I said was that I take my daughter outside in the morning to get vitamin D. I never said that supplementing vitamin D using a supplement, is stupid or that's dumb or why are you doing that? No, I never said that. I don't think that. Like, that's your prerogative, right? Your child. But I choose to go outside. I choose not to keep my kid inside until she's 6 months old. Like, I'm not afraid of the sun. I'm so sick of people telling me I need to be afraid of everything. I'm not afraid of everything. And like, to come at me and call me a bad mom. Why? Because I don't do the same thing you do. Like, I didn't think this person was a bad mom because she gave her kid a vitamin. Like, I just said I didn't do it. And like, there was this other mom she's just so scared. And I get it. Like, there's so many people that are scared, and for good reason, because crap is thrown in your face 24 hours a day of why you should be afraid, And this woman was like, we're all vaccinated. We wear masks. We don't leave the house. People, they can't come over and all of these things. And she's like, I'm just so scared. And she's struggling with like postpartum anxiety, which I've heard of. And it's just I feel so sorry for moms that experience that, because I just couldn't imagine. Like, I'm already anxious and afraid, because you don't want anything to happen to your child. But postpartum anxiety, it's crippling. And I was so sad for her. And like, I was as soft as I could be, because I just, responded to her. She was like, does anybody else feel this way? And when did you start going out and all of these things? And I kindly was like, I am so sorry that you're struggling, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I am the complete opposite of you as a mom, like as far as like taking all those precautions, and my daughter's thriving because I think her child is like maybe 7 weeks old or something. And I get that she's so scared because she's a first-time mom and she's struggling with this postpartum anxiety. And I was just kind with her, and I was like, I am so sorry, but I don't do any of those things, and me and my daughter are fine. Like my daughter's thriving. She's very happy. She's growing, and there's nothing like she's not, she's okay. We're okay. And she was just kind of like, she was surprisingly really nice. And she was like, thank you for saying that. She's like, I need to know that people aren't, doing everything that I'm doing and they're still okay. She was like, that helps me. And I was like, awesome. Like, let's all be open for discussion. And, so at least that was a okay moment, but my God, you would have thought my daughter being in non-direct sunlight was the end of the world. I still have, like, she goes into the swimming pool in her bathing suits if the sun is out. I have that bathing suit where it covers her, like, it's long sleeve. I don't know why people think that I wouldn't do anything and everything I could to keep my baby safe. And that includes, covering her skin if she's going to be out in the sun, or coming inside when she gets too hot. Like, I'm not an idiot. I don't know, but you would think that I am. And according to conspiracy TikTok and that parenting thread I was on, I'm very stupid. I don't know. But, I could have woke up and I went through the comments, and they were all very, very, most of them were very hateful, especially the one about politics. And I could have, but I was kind of like laughing because, one, I think that there's bigger things to worry about than Trump's paperwork, but okay. And, cause they were talking about the Russia-Ukraine war and the supply chain, and how our entire supply chain is getting disrupted by this war. And I was like, and I simply said, they were like, look how it's impacting supply chain alone. And they were just so rawr about it. And I was like, well, we're not on the same page, because I don't think our supply chain is being impacted by that war. And they're like, look at the shortages. Of course, you see the shortages. That's why. And I was like, but I don't think that. I was like, there are definitely shortages. See, they took it as I didn't see the shortages, but no, I see it. But I think it's purposely being done that way. Because like I said, I think we're all being pushed into one direction. All of these plants, these food plants, and they're not getting burned down by coincidence, right? There are hundreds, I think, by now, of all of these food distribution places and things to do with food and farms. Like, all of this stuff is getting destroyed. And I guess because it's not on the news, people think that that's not happening. They think it's the Ukraine war, the war. So what's happening is, yeah, I know, that's my daughter, is they blame everybody for this war, right? And they get all these people invested in it. They're like, oh, look what this war is doing. And so they don't question it. And all I'm doing is questioning the validity of it all. Because honestly, there's so much out there that's suspect, and people aren't talking about those things because either they don't know about it, or the news didn't tell them, or they actually think politicians care about you. They don't. Like, they don't care. I think, can we all come to the conclusion that politicians don't care about your well-being? Like, they don't. They literally shut down the world and wouldn't let you have a job if you didn't listen to them. They made it almost impossible for people to feed their families. And they wouldn't let you see your dying families. They wouldn't let you have a funeral. All the while they were doing the exact opposite. They weren't following any of these rules. They were having parties and dinner parties and, throwing these elaborate funerals for different people. Like, it was all a joke. Like, I'm sorry. It was so obvious that we were being played. And I'm not coming from a place to say that it was all fake. I have people that I know personally that have died from this pandemic, and I can't say for certain what it all is because I don't know, but I do know that we got played. And you can disagree, you can whatever, and you can come at me like all of these people on Reddit did, and with your facts and your stuff. But I've done the research. I've seen like different things. I've looked at both sides. That's the thing. And I'm not on either side. Like, I'm not on a side. What I am is I'm on my side. And I think that nothing adds up. And wars are money laundering schemes for sure. Especially this one. How many billions and billions of dollars have they sent over there? It's just how I feel, and it doesn't matter if you agree. Like, and I really don't care if you disagree. Like, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna convince me otherwise, and I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just sharing my theory based on what I've seen. Just like you pick a side based on what you've seen, And I'm not gonna sway you. I'm just telling you my experience because I can, So, when I got to a place where I just wasn't afraid of being different, everything kind of changed, Once I deconstructed all of these beliefs and parts of myself, because I've done so much work on myself, I've taken the time to really question, my motive and my beliefs. But I think it's important when you start doing that, like if you have a belief and you start defending it, you defend it to the death, you have to ask yourself why. Like, that's why cults happen, right? And like, even like the MAGA crowd, they're the same, as the left, but for different reasons. And they don't see it, right? Because you get sucked in. I got sucked in. Come on. And it's like, it's okay to be wrong too. Like, why do people have to be right? Like, people are defending Q to like the death, and it's okay to like question it. And if you get defensive or you're just so invested when somebody says, yeah, but like this was weird, or that was weird, and you get angry and you have this weird reaction, it's really important that you ask yourself why. Like, that's why, like I said, that's why cults are a thing. That's why people get manipulated. That's why, like, have you noticed in the spiritual community, like all of these coaches, like they'll charge you $15,000 a month to work with them, and all they do is sell you fluff. Because, they were able to entice you and manipulate you and then scam you, Like, we're all getting scammed in every area. Look at anything. We're all getting scammed. We're all being lied to. And you can fall into it. You can get sucked in and get lost in it. Because I did for a while. I got lost in it. And, it took me a minute to be like, wait, I'm like wasting like my life. Like, I looked out like the window. I was like, life is happening. And I am getting obsessed with this. Like, I'm not living. And from that moment on, I like closed the computer down and I was like, I need to start living. And I did. And I just stopped researching. I stopped. And you know what? I feel a lot better. And what am I doing now? I'm learning to survive. I'm learning how to take care of myself and my family. I'm learning how to, I want to garden and things like that. I'm just, it's like, if I were to have to live off grid, I would want to know that I could, and like, that's because I love to learn. So, I'm looking at that stuff, and I love holistic care. I love it. I love finding different ways to treat different things that's not pharmaceuticals, because I believe that pharmaceutical drugs are meant to keep us sick, just like our food systems are meant to keep us sick. So learning about my body and how to heal it has been like so interesting for me. And it's brought up so many different things. And like just learning how the body works alone is just a game changer. You should just start like researching like what your body does. And like being pregnant brought me to this place, and I've never been thriving. Like, I've never been happier. And while I do still struggle, but it's bringing up these different things that I wasn't necessarily looking for. I'm like, oh wow, I do have an issue with that. Or like, when you look at alcoholism, like, what is that? Like, why, what is the root cause of this alcoholism? Because, and I had this whole spiel, and I guess I'll get into it next time. But, I when I look at these things, because, before I got pregnant, I drank a lot, like a lot, like too much. I was like, all I did was drink. And then I got pregnant, stopped because, my baby. And even now, if I were to drink, I would probably just go back to sorry, I hit the desk. I would go back right to where I was, just drinking a ton. Even though I love my baby more than anything, I want nothing but to keep her safe. I have certain beliefs around alcohol and addiction, and that's what I'm exploring now. And I don't wake up and need a drink, but I know if I were to drink, I'd probably just keep doing it. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what is that? Like, what does that mean? So, I still don't have all the answers, but I can look at alcoholism from, a physical perspective, but also a spiritual one, because addiction, like alcoholism, can be a great, great teacher. And a lot of people are on board with AA, and because I am the way I am, I don't think AA is the answer. I think that it can be used as a tool. Yes, I think having a support system is important. So yes, I think it is a tool on the journey to healing, but I don't think it's the answer. I think there's more to it. And but we can get into that more next time, because I can't be talking for 2 hours. I don't think you guys will want to listen to me that long. But yeah, so this took a turn, but I'm really glad that you're here. And I hope that if you're feeling triggered, like, come talk to me, Be like, why are you this way? And I'm happy to talk. I love open dialogue. I love when we can have a healthy discussion with, different perspectives. Like, that's how we learn. That's how we grow. Trying to be the same as everyone, or trying to make everyone be the same, it's just boring, right? But I think we can all coexist and have different beliefs. I think we can live our lives and have the freedom to do so without getting attacked. I'm not judging you for the choices that you make. I'm only here to discuss the choices that I make. And, I run the risk of, being honest and having people come at me. But what I want you to do the next time is, like, if you feel the need to go call somebody a bad mom, or to call somebody stupid or uneducated for feeling or believing something, just don't. and take a step back and ask, why am I so mad at this person? And why do I need them to do the same things as me? You know, where is it coming from? Like, is it coming from fear? Do I just genuinely have a curiosity? Or, you know, like, why do I feel this person is a bad mom? Or why do I feel this person is uneducated? Because she thinks differently than I do. Try to understand the person. And I think you'll learn a lot from that. It takes practice. But instead of going out and being like, you're stupid, like maybe don't do that. I've had a lot of fun talking about this. I just love my podcast, and I always miss it when I don't have the time. But we'll get back on track here soon. If you have any questions at all, always contact me. I like to hear from you. And I'm if there's any way that I can pray for you, please let me know and I will make that happen. I will talk to you all soon. And I think, we'll get into the alcoholism and spirituality next time. Possibly. Because I had all these notes prepared. And I was ready to talk. I got really into it. And then look what happened. But I hope to hear from you. And I hope that you come back next time. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.